Today I'm going to show you how to convert recurring decimals into fraction. Remember what recurring is. 0.4 recurring is just the same as 0.4444 with those fours never ending. Now we are going to use a bit of algebra to do this. We will first define this recurring decimal as an x. So x is 0.4444. Our aim is to get rid of the recurring part of the decimal so we can express it as a fraction. So here is what we are going to do. We are going to multiply both sides of this equation by 10. So 10x, I should be multiplying this by 4, so decimal place will move once to the right. So this will become 4.444 recurring. Now, if we subtract this equation from this equation, then those recurring parts of the decimals will cancel out. So if we do 10x, take away x, then this would be same as 4.4444 minus 0.4444. So the left-hand side would be 9x, and the right-hand side will be 4, and all we need to do now is solve this equation. Therefore, we will be dividing both sides with 9, so x would be 4 over 9. Example 2 on recurring decimals. We will first define the recurring decimal as x, and since the dot is above 7, the only repeating number is 7. Therefore, x would be 0.577 recurring. What we are going to do now is we are going to multiply both sides of the equation by 10. So we would then move the decimal place once to the right, which means the right hand side would be 5.777 recurring. Now here we have a problem. If we subtract this first line from the second line, then those decimal places would not cancel out. Remember, our aim is to get rid of the recurring part of the decimal so that we can express it as a fraction. So in this case, to solve this problem, I would find out what 100x is. So if we multiply the x by 100, then we would have 57.7777 recurring. Now, if we look at these two lines, we would see that the recurring part of the decimals are exactly the same. So these two are what we are going to use in our calculation then. So 100x minus 10x would be exactly the same as 57.777 recurring minus 5.777 recurring. 100x take away 10x would be 90x, and these decimals will cancel each other out. So we have 57 take away 5, that will be 52. If I then divide both sides by 90, then x will be 52 over 90. Majority of the time, they would expect the result in its simplest form, so I should be simplifying this fraction as much as I can. Now, since these are both even numbers, I'm going to divide top and bottom by 2. If I divide this number by 2, I would get 26. If I divide 90 by 2, I would have 45. That's it. Hi, this is third and the last video on recurring decimals. Our first step would be defining this recurring decimal as x. And since the dots are above 3 and 6, all the numbers between 3 and 6 will repeat. Therefore, x will be 2.396 and dot dot dot. I'm going to multiply both sides with 10. And if I multiply this number by 10, then I will move the decimal place to the right once. Therefore, it will be 23.96396.3 dot dot dot. since the decimal places are not matching, subtracting this line from the second line wouldn't help, as our main aim is to get rid of the recurring part of the decimal. So I'm going to find out what 100x is, and that will be 230.6369336 ... Now again, if you compare these three, the decimal places are not matching, so I am going to find out what 1000x is then, and it will be 2396.396. ... Now if you compare the first line and this line here, as you can see that decimal places are matching, which means subtracting this line from this line will cancel out the recurring part of the decimal. So this is what we are going to do then. So 1000x minus x would be equal to 2396.396 ... minus 2.396 ... Now 1000x minus x is 999x, and these decimals will cancel each other out, so all we have to do is 2396 minus 2, that will be 2394. If we then solve this equation by dividing both sides with 999, we will get the result of 2394 over 999. Now, majority of the time, they would expect us to simplify the result. Surely 2 doesn't divide both of these, numerator and denominator, as the denominator is odd. So I'm going to try 3. Now, there is a divisibility rule that you should know, which is if the sum of the numbers is multiple of 3, then that number will be divisible by 3. 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 9 is 14, plus 4 is 18. Since 18 is multiple of 3, then this number will be divisible by 3. Hence, if I divide top and bottom by 3, that will be, the denominator will be 333. And if I divide 2394 by 3, I would have 798. Again, I can add these 3 digits, that's 9. Since 9 is in 3 times table, this will be divisible by 3. So I'm going to check the numerator now. 7 plus 9 is 16. Plus 4 is 24. Since 24 is in 3 times table, this number will be divisible by 3. Therefore, I'm going to divide top and bottom by 3, and that will be 266 over 111.